All right, hello guys, and happy Sunday to you. We're in the garage right now. We're about to embark on a quick little coffee run. Elephant in the room. You guys can see it. I can see it. Helmet. I am pretty excited to use that. I went one time before drag racing, but yeah, no, that's gonna be fun. We'll have to definitely go to. We'll definitely make a couple of runs in Epping, which, you know, they do that Wednesday, Fridays. So yeah. But anyway, guys, let's hop right into it. I need something to start my morning. I'm thinking Aroma Joe's, maybe a pretzel. So much noise. Got my oil temperature. I always run oil temperature, you know, especially if your car's super modified. Mine's, you know, only stage 2, but why not? Might as well. Guys, listen to the difference. It's because of the neighborhood. I like to maintain some relationships, not all. I understand I can't make everyone happy, but yeah, this thing makes some noise. Alright, so we've been driving for a little bit, like a minute or so, and it takes a little bit for this car to warm up, which again, not a bad thing. I always make sure my car's at like 180 before I romp on it, but I know most people are different. Everyone kind of has their own kind of warm-up routine. I always make sure it cold starts, you know, gets kind of through that that period. You know, one thing I've actually learned is cold starts are more kind of, I guess, beneficial for your catalytic converter, I think, more than oil. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I keep hearing kind of varying things. I assume maybe it's good for both. Me being a high flow cat, you know, whatever. But actually, on the subject of catalytic converter, and I'm gonna just try to clean these bugs, guys. Welcome to New England. I don't think I made that any better. Let's see. I apologize for the bugs. I made that way worse, but regardless, one of the things I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about was this car failed inspection. It's great. I'm not happy about that, but it failed, and the reason why it failed is because of the downpipe. I've actually had a lot of people ask me this, and I've pretty much been steering everyone in the wrong direction for many years now, and I think partially because I've been spoiled by the GTI has always gone to the dealer that was once an APR dealer. So you know, I had a lot of work done by them, and they were the ones who installed my downpipe. So I think, you know, maybe they're just trying to just, you know, just keep passing me just because of that. But it would have been the same situation from the GTI to this car, being when you've mapped your car to stage 2, or I should say when you're not running a OEM catalytic converter, it's almost all the time going to flick a check engine light unless you have an O2 spacer. So because this car has a modified catalytic converter, it's not going to pass. The check engine light keeps coming on when I go back to stock, because I thought I was being sneaky by perhaps you know, flashing it back to stock, and I didn't have the check engine light, I think, until like 3 minutes on my trip, which again, it takes a little bit longer to get to the shop that I bring this car to for my inspections. But so yeah, that was kind of one thing. It was kind of a little annoying and a little bit of a shock to me. But again, I've only had this car actually 1 year of being stage 2 to be exact. They always have some pretty cool Volkswagen builds, a lot of Mark IVs, but still. Oh man, this is brutal. But anyway, so that's that. You know, so I think on that note, if I you know, I still have some time obviously, but I may very well consider going to perhaps a track slag catless. This thing has a bit of a smell to it too, and I think it's partially because it's mostly with the pops and crackles. When those ignite, it just I'm assuming it's just I mean, all the pressure, all the heat going to that catalytic converter. Granted, it can take it. It's a very robust catalytic converter, but it does kind of have, and there's like a slight kind of, you know, when I am winding this thing out, it does permit a little bit of a smell, as most, again, high flow catalytic converters would do. I'm thinking maybe I go catless, and you know, let's see some flames perhaps. So I don't know. It's an idea, and you know, because again, the whole point was to just pass inspection, but I'm just not going to pass inspection unless I maybe run an O2 spacer, which hasn't even been confirmed if it'll work at all. So I think, yeah, we're just going to be a little sneaky about it, and yeah, and we'll just run an O2 spacer on that as well. But granted, I'll have to switch out of something at some point. I need to get this car inspected. It's my daily driver, so she needs to pass. But anyway, aside from that, that's really it, guys. That's kind of the latest and greatest as far as kind of where this car stands. Now, one thing I also kind of, I guess, wanted to bring up too was I do have some videos planned, and it's going to touch on some like modifications that I sort of regret on this car. I've done it with the GTI, and that video did wonderful. And I do a lot of research before I buy these certain things for the car, but some things I do overlook, and that's what that video is going to touch on. And a little spoiler alert, one thing I'm going to address is the wheels. I really like these wheels. I think they look sweet. However, there are certain things I can complain about. The first thing is it's basically not too different from the Pretorias. It has really good offset, and it does sit pretty flush, but the downside is it's almost identical. I mean, the specs are really similar to Pretoria, and the issue is too, they ride really firm, just like the Pretorias did. So you know, now that I'm kind of getting a little bit more into kind of competitive driving, I guess you could say, with, you know, I've made a few runs to the drag strip, I really kind of want to try maybe a lighter wheel, an 18-inch wheel, and some you know, with a little bit more tire sidewall as well. So I'll have to kind of just look, I'll shop around, but that's preliminary, but that will be addressed in that video, so look out for that. It should come out probably next. I do have a carbon fiber steering wheel coming, which is exciting because I've always wanted one. Even when I had the GTI, I was always kind of holding back on scooping up one of those, but oh, 180. Gotta celebrate hitting that oil tempy. I've been brake boosting. That's a fun thing to do. So brake first, throttle, and then oh, this thing is so much freaking fun, guys. It really is. It's such a great little package, I guess you could say. You know, I'm super happy with it, and that's one of the things, like, a lot of people, like, you know, when they have these cars, they're like, oh, you gotta get the RS3. Is the RS3 really worth $20,000 more? I mean, I think right now I can get $30,000 for this car, although if someone's willing to make if someone watching right now is willing to give me like a little bit more than 30 for this car, damn, hit me up. we'll have to get a conversation going. I'm not ready to sell this thing per se, but hey, anything's for sale for the right price. But going off that, everyone who sells this car goes into the RS3, and you know, that's a great car. I'm not saying the RS3 is a bad car. I just don't think it's worth the $20,000 more. You lose the hatchback, which for me is like not a make or break, but it's certainly something I like. And you know, there's just other things too. I mean, the Daza's great, you know, and that transmission, I think, what is it, DQ500? Super good transmission. Oh my god, guys, I keep hitting that pothole. I hit that in my my last video too. I'm done taking that road. Oh man, yeah. Let's get some pops going. This thing is just so much fun, guys. And I know I can say that as many times, you know, repeating myself, blah, blah, blah. But it really is a fun car. Ooh, we're approaching Aroma Joe's. This is really the promised land. Well, that was wonderful. We got a little bit of Aroma Joe's rush. I don't get these too much, but man, do they wake you up. I mean, granted, it's noon, I should be awake by now, but it's Memorial Weekend, guys. You gotta go easy on me. I can be a lazy bones if I so desire. But we also scored a pretzel. It was the last one with salt. Can't go wrong with that at all. One of the things that I've been kind of telling myself, and the best way to hold myself accountable when it comes to posting videos, is right when I film them, edit them, post them. Why delay? You know, it's kind of one of those things. Some people may not like me for this, and that's fine. I speak my opinion. Maybe I don't need to, but I will. I'm not a fan of motorcycles. I can't stand them. And mostly Harleys. Sport bikes are cool, you know. I understand it, but I grew up with so many people who always like made the argument, you know, oh, it's way faster than your car. I'm sure it is. It's a bike. It weighs like nothing. It's like, in, you know, some respects also kind of a death trap, and unfortunately more of a somber story, but one of the guys who let me test drive one of the first GTIs passed away in a motorcycle accident. It wasn't his fault. Somebody, you know, went into him, but that caught me off guard. It was actually one of the dealerships I still go to, and I learned that, and it was terrible news. So, you know, that was, you know, I've had, you know, numerous stories, but I guess that was just one of them that sort of hit home with me. And, you know, it can happen to anybody, and it's usually not the biker's fault. It's the car's fault, and that's one of the tough things. And but yeah, aside from that, Harleys, you know, most part I can't stand them. You know, the speakers, listen to their music, and just the sound of it. Granted, I mean, what's more annoying? I think this takes the cake for more annoying with a crackle tune, because I mean, it is pretty aggressive. Oh, there you go. That's New Hampshire for you. That is hilarious. You know, if you want to get the most crackles out of this car, go to like right just under 4K, and then just keep on the throttle as you're on decel. And at least for me, because I have the Remus, it'll keep the driver's side valve open, because I think when I let it off, even at the higher RPMs, it'll close the driver's side valve. I don't have an issue with that. I used to kind of hate that, because I want noise all the time if I'm in race mode, but the way it kind of transforms the sound of this car and prevents it from sounding super droney is nice. But anyway, I really don't think there's much to talk about aside from, guys, stay tuned for some more videos. I do have that new video coming up, kind of explaining a little bit kind of as to why I'm, you know, certain mods that I'm kind of maybe going to rethink and readdress too, because, you know, I'm going to complain about them and I'm going to switch them out. Whereas the GTI, I don't think I ended up really changing anything out. Everything kind of remained the same, all the things that I complained about. So yeah, there's that. You know, I can always complain. I'm one to complain. But anyway, yeah, so definitely stay tuned for some of those videos. There's going to be some good ones to come, and probably some in the drag strip. I do want to go maybe Friday, so that will be certainly something to look out for. If not, I'll probably keep you guys posted on Instagram, because I'd love to go racing with some of you guys as well, because that would be sweet. But guys, these crackles are just so funny. I know a lot of people hate them, but oh, I thought we're gonna get a big one. Oh, it's a little tame today. Oh, there we go. There's one. I'm also kind of like, I hope my GoPro film is good. I'm trying a new style for, well, for actually sitting. I have a really bad TMJ issue, and I'm kind of doing whatever I can to, I guess, remedy it, and some of that can be good posture. So go figure. My posture for the last, you know, years of owning these cars, I like to sit low, you know, and I'm a tall guy, so you have to sit pretty low to kind of get that low feeling. So it's nice to kind of be sitting up. But anyway, guys, I'll probably end it here. But thank you guys again for watching and supporting me, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.